Speaker Johnson, thanks for your time. You've chosen to travel to New York, and as you were just out on those steps calling for the resignation of the president of Columbia, there was heckling, there was shouting, there was not a warm reception.
Enjoy your free speech.
Were you surprised at all by what happened?
Well, there was a sea of students who apparently have been involved in the protest here, and I'm not surprised that they didn't welcome our visit because we're calling out their activities.
Yeah, I'm calling them out. Okay, I'm putting them on notice.
Tried to make today is that this is not who we are as Americans. This is not an expression of the First Amendment. This is not an exchange of ideas. This is threats and intimidation of violence against Jewish students for who they are, for their faith. And that's a terrible trend that's going on in the country right now. We have similar types of activities and what are becoming violent protests on campuses around the country. And members of Congress, I believe, have an obligation, a responsibility to speak about this and to demand that it come to an end, because it's not good for us.
The main thing they were chanting was Free Palestine. How is that anti-Semitic?
Well, what's anti-Semitic is that Hamas endorsed this protest today.
Just not answering the question, just going to completely go in a different direction. How is saying Free Palestine anti-Semitic? Well, what's anti-Semitic is that Hamas endorsed it. That's not what she asked, you fucking dickhead.
Within the last 2 hours, they issued an endorsement statement and heralded the students here and said, this is the next generation of leadership in America. If you're getting endorsed by Hamas, that's not a good look. It's not a good sign. Some of these students apparently are unaware of the atrocities of October 7th, or they're denying it.
Bro, you're just lying. They deny it? No, man. You're just lying. You're still running with propaganda from back in November. It's motherfucking April.
The things that happen there are unspeakable, and yet they're out there waving flags for the very...
That is a deflection, chatter, in case that guy is still here. Yeah, that is what deflection looks like.
There's a student here, a PhD student at Columbia. I wanted to quote him. He is Jewish. He has written a testimonial about what's going on here right now, his experience on campus. And he says, I'll read it to you, the most pressing threats to our safety as Jewish students do not come from tents on campus. We should be focusing on the material reality of war, the munitions our government is sending to Israel, which kill Palestinians by the thousands, and the Americans participating in the violence. Do you think that protesting the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza, protesting the tens of thousands of innocent people who have died there, is anti-Semitic in and of itself?
I think there's always a place for debate in the free exchange of ideas, but let's not equivocate on what's happening with Hamas and in Gaza. This is a battle, as Netanyahu said, Prime Minister Netanyahu said, between good versus...
Just completely ignored him. I would venture out to say that when you were talking about anti-Semitism on campus, and a Jewish PhD student who is part of that protest that you are calling anti-Semitic is saying it's not, and instead of addressing that, you just completely veer off to a different topic, I would venture to say that that is anti-Semitic, because it is ignoring the actual demands, the perspectives, the experiences, the identity of a Jewish person.